What do we have here?
1 month later. So here we go. We got it fixed up a little bit. Well, I mean, I don't know if you call it fixed up or not. I saw that it was already the little pin inside that travels with this blade. The pin is, let's see, it's, okay. The pin ends up right there on this side. And as the blade turns this way, the pin follows around and hits about there when it stops. I was already seeing a little damage on this carbon fiber from that pin, the pin sticking out this side. Obviously, the pin sticking out this side is hitting on titanium stops at the end of each side of this track that's cut into this side. So this one's doing fine. This one's damaging the carbon fiber. And because it's mashing into the carbon fiber, it just has a mushy feel. So I did something maybe weird, maybe a little, crazy. I just cut off the pin all the way on this side. So it only has a pin on one side. So the pin is only stopping it on this side. Now, it's got a pivot right through the center. So really that, shouldn't matter. It should stop it just fine, having a pin only on one side. But that's what I did. And then we anodized the backspacer and the pocket clip. I don't think I ground the backspacer down, but maybe I did a little bit just to make sure that the blade never hits it. And man, it is pretty close to hitting it right now, but it doesn't. So at some point I may need to grind it down more if this thing keeps moving in more. Also, another little problem with it, I just can't really recommend this knife because this is the second one and I've had issues with both. This one had a different issue. I can't really say that the blade strike was an issue, although I can say that it was chewing into the carbon fiber and may still eventually do a blade strike on this backspacer. But so the other problem was the distance between the lock bar and the back of the blade where it's supposed to push in and lock seemed to be a little bit too much. So this lock bar was going over and not quite hitting the blade, even though it was even further in than it is now. So it was getting close to like 50% lockup, but it wasn't really locked up. I could move the blade back and forth. I can't now because I kind of fixed that. So here's how I fixed it. I took the lock bar insert out and I put a little tiny piece of metal behind it, just a tiny piece. I think I used a little bit of a wire wheel, one of the little pieces of wire off a wire wheel behind it, just that much. That caused the insert to ride up further so that it hits the blade earlier in this side-to-side motion. So as the lock bar moves over, it hits the blade earlier and locks up at about 35–40%, like you'd want it to, and there's no more blade play. But that causes a different issue. When you move the lock bar insert, you're also moving the detent ball, which is attached to the lock bar insert. So now it has play when it's closed. Called pivot lash. No, sorry, detent lash. So it's got a little detent lash, actually substantial detent lash. So the only way I could fix that, so there's two ways. You can put the detent back where it was supposed to be, but then I'll have a lockup issue. Or I can take it apart, and there's a detent hole in the blade, and I can take a little, kind of like a pin or a punch, and I can put it right next to the hole and hit it with a hammer a bunch of times until I smash some of the metal back into the hole and make the hole a little bit different shape and size so that the ball stops in the right place. That is tricky, and I don't know if I want to do it. So I don't know. I don't know. So for now, this is what we got. We got a little bit of heat anodizing on the body that looks nice. We got the polished and anodized clips and the backspacer. And we got a nice comfortable knife that looks really nice, but seems to always have issues. So I can't really recommend it.
Not recommended. Not recommended.
That's it. That's all I can say about it. Second one, not super happy with it, even though it's a super nice looking knife, super nice slicey blade. That looks really great. Slightly disappointed, but I've been having some pretty good luck with Twosun lately. So you're going to get with Tucson especially, you're going to get a lemon now and then. So, is there a chance that this is just another lemon and that most of them are still great? There's a chance of that, but I think this model probably just has some inherent issues. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'll get a third one and find out that I'm wrong. But for now, that's all I got. Have a nice day.